That would have been bad. Hey, everybody, GameHounds podcast. It is Nick and Edie, aka Mrs. Cranky Pants, and I'm Catman. So yeah, we have no Andrew today. He is exhausted from working something like 14 hours yesterday.
I know, such a weakling.
Poor guy. So yeah, we're here hanging out and getting ready for the show. We've got all our stories together, and we would love to start the show actually fairly soon since we are 20 minutes late now. Facebook failed to post. You have been temporarily blocked from performing this action. Oh, we're truly blocked off of Facebook.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, good. Fuck Facebook and fuck
Yeah.
what I even forgot the dude who runs Facebook.
Zuckerberg.
Yeah, I was thinking it's like not Zimmerman, it's not something something. Right, Zuckerberg. Fuck that dude.
Yeah.
The dude should go to space and never
So I
come back.
wonder how long we are suspended for on Facebook
I
because
mean,
we played a minute and 16 seconds worth of legitimate legitimate use,
yeah.
legal use of something, but their bot picked it up and I got salty.
You might have to like contact them about it because I think that I genuinely think that might be one of the things where you're banned until you raise your hand and say, "Can I be unbanned?" I don't think there's any time limited the automatic thing for it because that would be user friendly. And the last thing I expect from Facebook is user friendliness.
Yeah, true. So, what's up? Anything before we start the show that we want to talk about?
I will just say since I'll talk about the movie now so that you don't post anything about it and get banned. I did see Free Guy over the weekend, and that's a really good movie. That has like a lot of like one of the best video game movies ever made. That's not based on a game. Uh, but like it takes a lot of the concepts of game design and development and implements it in a way that's like not 100% real, but it's like, yeah, it works for the story. All the stuff works for the plot that they're doing. It's like, yeah, this actually works really well. This is cool. And it's got a bunch of fun cameos that are not cameos and stuff in the way that like the Space Jam movie was, but
Mm-hmm.
actual clever uses of mechanics and items and things like that work. It's also just like really funny,
Yeah, we got
shockingly so.
Bloodbreaker in the chat. Yeah, you did.
So yeah, check out Free Guy.
All
Free
right.
Guy's pretty good.
So let's you want to start the show? I guess I gotta get the show going. Edit. Stand by. Gotta start this up. So Nick did play Back for Blood.
Mm-hmm.
I am curious to talk about this at length. But I can't type and talk at the same time. You'd think after all this time I would get good at that, but indeed I am not.
That's right. I just remembered I was scrolling through Polygon and man, I still need to see that Monster Hunter movie. Because I
All
guess
right.
Netflix.
Are we ready to go?
Oh geez. So there was the Monster Hunter movie by the director of Resident Evil. And now there's another Monster Hunter animated movie coming out on Netflix.
They're really going deep on this Monster Hunter stuff.
Netflix is really going all in like the video game adaptation arena.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't blame them. There's a lot of money in it.
Yeah.
A lot of money in it.
And to be fair, Castlevania is like
There's money in the banana store.
Yeah. I get that reference.
Thank you. Banana stand. I'm sorry, banana stand.
Yes.
Money in the banana stand. All right. So let's start the show. I have a feeling it's going to be a fairly short show, and that's okay.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
I have some things to say about Returnal.
Blood Reaper does not get the reference. That is an Arrested Development reference to a banana stand where they sold frozen chocolate dipped bananas.
That is also a show I've been meaning to go back and watch.
And Dad always said there was money in the banana stand, and of course, then somebody burns
There is money in the
there,
banana
and
stand.
yeah, they burn the banana stand down, and find out that there was $250,000 in the walls. And
Yeah,
it's like, I told you, there's money in the banana stand. Hey, AC Wraith, we finally got you. All right, so we're going to fire up the show. No Andrew this week. He's tired. I just got back from the gun range because it calms me.
that's good.
Um,
Calm is a good place to be.
yeah, calm is a good place to be. So let's hit this. Am I happy? Yes, I'm very happy. Well, I mean, am I happy with a capital H? No, I'm okay at the moment. It's just, okay is the best I can hope for these days.
Like everything is there's a context.
Right. Everything is kind of got that spice all over it. So let's go. The bot can see the Facebook post to put it in Discord, but I can't load the actual page. Can see the Facebook post to put
So
it
it's
in
like
Discord.
he can link to the Facebook post through Discord, but you can't actually see it. That's weird.
God, seriously.
I
That's
know.
just Facebook punching down.
I'm just counting the days until Facebook gets dismantled.
Oh God, yes. This has not made me any more of a fan of that platform. All right, so let us move along. Shall we start the show?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Modern culture and technology, and these podcasters are big fat potty mouths. If you're younger than 18 or are easily offended, please stop this podcast now. Oh, and your mom says to take out the trash and do your homework.
All right, mics are hot. Hello and welcome to GameHounds. GameHounds episode 606. We are really? Is it 606? Wow. 606. We are recording this on Sunday, August 15th, 2021. I'm Edie Sellers. With me is Nick DiNicola. Andrew Smith is not here this week. He is waking up or sleeping or something.
Doing
Maybe.
chores, trying to using the 2 hours he has between working shifts to, I don't know, get toilet paper and grocery store food, survivable necessities.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, I can sleep for an hour and then back to work.
Yeah, they're really working the shit out of him.
Yeah.
They really, really are. Thank you for reminding me. Hey, there's a Patreon. Don't forget to support us on Patreon in our crusade against Facebook. Yes, we are still down on Facebook. Facebook will not let us stream. We have been banned from streaming on Facebook until I'm not sure. Haven't heard anything back about.
I wear that as a badge of honor.
I think I kind of sort of do too. But I mean, I would rather have done it for something that actually necessitated that instead of
Yeah.
a minute and 17 seconds of bouldering. 16 seconds, my bad.
Was it the bouldering or was it the Tomorrow War trailer?
No, bouldering is what got us. Tomorrow War trailer got us demonetized a couple of episodes ago on Facebook.
Okay.
I'm sorry, on YouTube.
Okay, that was a YouTube thing.
because I played the Tomorrow War trailer, which is perfectly legal to do.
Yes, you could watch that trailer on YouTube itself. In fact, I think YouTube might have force-fed me that trailer as an ad at one point.
Right. Right.
They want you to see that
They
trailer.
want you to see the trailer. Yeah.
God forbid you play that
And
trailer.
in newswise, I could play it. I mean, it is a news article. It was a review of Tomorrow War.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Bots be bots. Yeah, companies hate when you market their wares. Yeah, well, I mean, bots just don't know the difference between a legitimate use of material, of copyrighted material, and not. And that was a legitimate, that is like flat out legitimate use. It was a review, and we showed the trailer.
Yeah.
So, yeah. An AC Wraith says a pack of toilet paper was up to $2 in my area. We having another shortage? We might. I did buy extra. I did warn you, get your toilet paper now, because when
Yeah.
this Delta variant hits, shit's gonna hit the fan and people are gonna be running back in. I warned you.
And I
It
picked some up
wasn't
then.
like you didn't know. I told you.
I mean, I've still got toilet paper.
I've got loads of toilet
Yeah.
paper now. So what's new with your world this week? Anything interesting?
Like I got back to playing games, which was good to do after a couple weeks of like heavy Olympic watching. I sort of dove back into the gaming sphere. With a couple games. Mainly, I have been playing Returnal. It's a game that I've been keeping my eye on for the longest time since it came out. Because for some reason, watching videos of it looked like something I would really enjoy.
Mhm.
And it is a roguelike or even a roguelite, because there's several progression mechanics in it. And on this podcast, I have chronicled my kind of love-hate relationship with the roguelike genre. And in the past, I believe that I have said for a roguelike to really appeal to me, it had to have short runs and some sort of mini objectives that you could accomplish in the run.
Mhm.
Returnal doesn't really have either of those. And it just might be the best game I've played all year.
Really?
So I don't know what I like, but I really like this game. And I'm not quite sure where to start with this. So probably just mechanically, it is a third-person shooter, and it is just a fantastic third-person shooter. It feels great to play. It feels great to move. It feels great to run. I went into the settings and turned on the normally to sprint you have to like click in the right stick. I just turned always sprint.
Mhm.
So that I'm always sprinting because I want to be able to just
That's
book
kind of nice
it.
that you can say that's a choice that you can have.
Yeah, and you can get into a lot of settings like that. A lot of the game involves color. Purple items are kind of corrupted. Blue items are nice. Orange items are usually currency. Red items are guns, and you can go in and change a whole bunch of colorblind options to change those settings, so
Mhm.
that each one there's like different settings for 3 to 4 different types of color blindness specifically. So, the game has impressive accessibility settings. But the act of going through the world, of just moving around, shooting things, feels really good. The guns are all really interesting. I have found that there are some guns specifically I like more than others, but I think it's always interesting to pick up a new gun and just experiment with it. Excuse me.
Drink more water.
I got coffee here.
That's not water.
Dirty dirty water.
Hmm.
But one of the things the game does is when you pick up a new gun, each gun has a stat associated with it. some type of modification, and it's locked. You have to use that gun more to unlock that stat. And so, even though I said it, the game doesn't really have objectives that you complete mid run. This is kind of something like that. It's not really an objective that you can do because the game doesn't direct you toward it explicitly. It's just, hey, here's a stat on the gun. If you use the gun a lot, you'll unlock the stat permanently. Not permanently, as in the guns will always have that stat, but that guns have a chance to have that stat.
Mm-hmm.
And you're doing that a lot throughout the game, is unlocking items that then sort of enter into the random pool. Um, what's neat is there is a permanent currency called Ether, and you use that for things like if you come across a corrupted chest, you can clean that chest for you spending some Ether on it.
You mean
And
ether?
Ether, whatever, ether,
Ether.
ether. You can spend some ether to clean that chest, to clean the item and pick it up, or you get it's infected with malignancy. And what malignancy does is actually in the video, uh, you can see it causes malfunctions in your suit. And that's just things like, hey, melee cooldowns increased by 2 seconds. And some general mechanical downside. And in order to fix that malfunction, you have to complete some objectives. Kill some enemies, collect a parasite, which is another type of mechanic. Things like that. But what's nice about the either, however you say it, it's capped at 30. You collect it pretty quickly, and like after a couple hours,
So it
I
kind
had
of forces you to use it a lot.
yes, because my first instinct was I ain't spending this shit ever.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I saw that it got to 30, it changed to yellow. I looked it up and said, yeah, it's capped. If you collect anything past 30, it just disappears into the ether.
Ether.
Whatever. So it's nice that it forces me to do that. So I'm actually spending it and actually like interacting with the game,
Stopping you
interacting
from
with this
hoarding.
mechanic. Yes, it's stopping me from embracing my natural terrible play experience tendency. And there's a lot of that in the game where it just kind of encourages you to pick up a different weapon. And like the having to kill enemies to unlock a trait of a weapon encourages you to just use this weapon. Like, hey, you might be having a bad run, but oh, I picked up a shotgun that has like a narrow width. Okay, I want to unlock that. I'll just try to kill some enemies. I probably won't get far, but I just want to try to unlock this thing. It's a nice thing to do when you feel like everything is going bad. Um, What's also neat about the game is, for as much as it is a third-person shooter, it's also very much a bullet hell game.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I generally hate bullet hell games, but this one works. And it's a little frustrating to me that I can't put my finger on exactly what I think makes this one work so well. The dodge you have is a great dodge. I'm always frustrated in some games when you have a dodge button and the character just kind of like, uh, takes a half step to the side. Was this dodge, you have invincibility frames, so you can dodge through any attack. And it's a pretty substantial dodge that is good for moving quickly, for closing gaps when you're doing platforming, and for getting out of tough situations. And so, like, all the mechanics just feel really well refined to work in like any instance, whether you are platforming, whether you're shooting, the movement and the dodging, all of it works so well together. But the best thing about this game, and I think what really has me hooked on it, is the story, which I did not expect because there's not actually a lot of plot to the game. It's actually, you know, you're going through and you're picking up well, okay. The story of Returnal is that you are Celine. You crash land on this planet. When you boot up the game, uh, there is no main menu. You boot it up, you see a cutscene of her ship crashing, and then you're right into the game. whenever you start, there is no main menu, which I think is kind of funny, but also makes sense because it's not like I'm loading a game since all the runs start over. It's not like I'm going to hit continue, select, play, new game. None of that matters. And so it just doesn't have that. So you crash on this planet, you start exploring it, and you realize it's filled with aliens. You die, and then you come back. And as you do this more and more, you start realizing, oh shit, I'm finding my bodies everywhere because the levels are procedurally generated. So she acknowledges that the world is changing around her, and she acknowledges that the loops exist. Like this is a game, the the cycle mechanic is not just there for a gamey purpose. The
Mhm.
game, the story acknowledges it. The character acknowledges it. And as you go through and you find audio logs left by other versions of yourself, you kind of get to see this character development through Celine. Where at first she's kind of approaching it in this very scientific manner of, oh, you know, I keep my memories when I come back. The world is changing. What's going on? I'm trying to cycle through this. And, after a dozen hours, you unlock an audio log and she says things like, I can see where the horizon meets my eye. And your Celine then says, that's not me. I don't want to see what she's seen. I don't want to become her.
Mhm.
And so it does a really good job using kind of the trauma of being stuck in this endless cycle of fighting for your life and how that would impact her psychologically.
Mhm.
What I think the game does really well is there seems to be these kind of dual plot threads, one involving Celine's past and one involving the mystery of the planet. Because very quickly, as you explore this planet, you find alien bodies and you define them as sentience. And you can unlock, you find like glyphs around that will help you translate different tomes that you find. And so these tomes kind of give you a hint of what was going on in this alien society. And the environments are all really interesting. And I'm really curious why this alien planet just descended into such a desolation. Because right now in the video we're playing, you're seeing the first biome, which is a forest. The second biome is this huge. She is standing guard. Oh, not anymore. We acknowledged her. We
No,
looked.
no, no. Yeah. No, she's still standing guard. She
Huh.
is somebody walked by outside. You can see him outside.
Oh yeah.
And she is like she's just sitting over there going,
Huh.
mm.
Good guard dog.
Yes. She's being a
Um.
very good guard dog.
So yeah, the second biome is this vast desert, and the third biome is this really impressive ruined cityscape where you're just looking at like empty skyscrapers and a burnt orange sky, kind of like it was in California when there were these fires. And I the world really oozes a Lovecraftian horror cosmic terror because you're looking at the remnants of this what seemed like a grand alien race. And what I like, as a big horror fan, is it really takes a lot of tips and tricks for horror games and horror films and how that stuff is presented in how it presents its environment. Like its environments are all meant to be spooky and scary and terrifying in both their, darkness in all the enemies that are hiding in it, and both in like what it means on a larger thematic level of, hey, all this is gone. Like this whole alien race, piles of alien bodies everywhere. Um, and then the other plot thread has to do with Celine and her past, because one of the things you encounter is a 20th century house on this alien planet that is her house.
Hmm.
Why is it there? Who the fuck knows? But every now and then, when you unlock a new biome, you get to enter in it and experience a memory, something like that.
Mhm.
And what's neat is the way these things play out is it really feels like um one feeds into the other, sometimes literally, sometimes metaphorically. And so every time I learn something new about Celine's past, that makes me rethink what is going on in the alien planet. And every time I learn something new about the alien planet, it makes me rethink what's going on with Celine's past, because part of me isn't sure, is this all in her head? Is it not? It really doesn't seem like it is, but it also kind of feels like it might be that, because there is a strong surreal element to the stuff you see and the stuff you experience. And yeah, it's that combination of being able to walk a tightrope between intimate character psychological study and Lovecraftian cosmic horror mystery, and to have those two things actually feed into each other in a way that makes each stronger, while also being just a really fucking fun game. I can't stop playing it. And
Hmm.
what I also think is important, the runs are long. Like, yes, that's one of the general criticisms of it, is that some runs can take you up to 2 to 3 hours. That's true, but after about, like, I think I've put 20 or so hours into it, I think in that time I have done less runs than I have in other roguelikes. Because the game, for as challenging as it honestly is, I don't think it's all that difficult. It's the kind of game that's hard right up until it's not. You know,
Hmm.
it's hard when you have a shotgun, but when you find the right gun with the right mod, uh, suddenly you're just wasting enemies. It's hard when you get to a new biome and you're encountering monsters that you don't know what they're going to do. You don't know the the pattern of the things they shoot out. You don't know how they're going to move. But once you fight them a couple times and you learn those patterns, then you're wasting them. And so that, I think, is definitely helping too. Because I have made really solid progress through this game. I've been playing it for about a week, and I'm already on biome 4 of 9. So, like, every 2 days, I'm beating a boss and getting to a next biome, which is honestly the kind of progress that I don't usually see in any roguelike.
Hmm.
Um, so that feels good. And I think the structure of this game too really, really helps. Um, I said before, it's more roguelite than like, because you're not always starting over from the beginning.
Hmm.
How it works is it kind of goes in sets of 3, where you got biome 1, you fight the boss, you get a key, and you use that key to go to biome 2. And you if you die there, then you go back to biome 1, but there's a shortcut to biome 2. Because the levels are procedurally generated, that shortcut might appear at the beginning of the run, it might appear at the end of the run, but there is a shortcut to biome 2. When you jump in there and you get to biome 3, you've unlocked another shortcut. And so now it kind of becomes this tactical decision of, I'm exploring the forest and I have found a shortcut to the desert. But the desert's biome 2, and I've already beaten that one. I want to go to 3. So should I go to 2 now, or should I keep looking for the shortcut to biome 3? And so it becomes kind of a tactical decision of, how do I want to use these shortcuts? And what's even better is, once you beat biome 3, biome 4 then becomes your new default. You're not starting over at biome 1 again. Biome 4 then becomes like where your starting point is. And from there, you go to 5 and 6. And then I assume once you beat 6, you start at 7. And so you're kind of always fed new environments. I'm not just going through the same forest and the same desert and the same city over and over and over again. I did that for 15 or so hours, and then I beat it. I beat the city, and I was rewarded with that, with new visuals. And that's really, really compelling, because this game looks really good. The visuals are all fascinating. The environments are fascinating, both just from an art design perspective and also from a story perspective. This red waste desert is just kind of a neat place to explore. It's creepy and open and desolate. So yeah, I feel like this is a game that on paper I shouldn't like most things about it,
Hmm.
but I've ended up liking literally everything about it. So
We got Goalie in the chat room who says, I'm watching you guys on my new 4K TV. I need to get back on the show and give people some eye candy. Okay.
yeah.
Whatever.
Whenever Andrew's not here, you can come back, do a little shirtless stream.
And he says it does look like a fun single player game.
It is, and it is single player. Yeah, for some reason, I had been keeping my eye on this one, and I'm glad that I bought it when I did, because it was on sale. I think it's still on sale for over the weekend. Like Sony has a big summer sale.
Yep.
And yeah, fucking amazing. I love the hell out of Returnal, and I will probably try to beat it, which
Okay.
is not something I've ever done with a roguelike.
Well, there you go. Next game you want to talk about?
Let's talk about Back for Blood, because we both did that one.
Okay, so I continued to play it. It went from being a limited beta for only those who pre-ordered to an open beta for those who did not pre-order. And boy, did the skill level change. Oh,
Really?
oh yeah. Yeah. It's there's some really bad teams out there. Those
'Cause I
first
feel
couple
like-
of days because they didn't know how to play it. Well, it's how we all played, you know, people going into a game because there's not a lot of explanation, and this game does require
Yeah,
a
there's
certain
not.
amount of explanation of how things work. But yeah, it's it is, you know, it's Left 4 Dead. It's Left 4 Dead 2.
It's funny enough, it's Left 4 Dead with a bit of roguelike elements in it, like RPG roguelike elements. Because
Yeah, I guess so. I mean,
you get. I say that because the thing I don't like about roguelikes is something I experienced playing Back 4 Blood, in that as you progress through a run, okay, going back before last week, you talked about the decks, and as you play, you earn points and you can unlock new cards that kind of augment your skills. Hey, the 20% reloading, plus 15 health. Hey, when you heal someone, you heal them more than usual. If, build goes down, everyone else gets a bit of a health boost. Little cards like that. You put them into a deck, and then you choose what deck you want to use in a run. And as you go through the run, you then get to pick cards from that deck to give to your character. So you start off being, just kind of a slow, stupid schlub. But by the end, I've got damage resistance, I've got trauma resistance, I can faster reload, my stamina's coming back. And so by the end, I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna kill all these zombies. And then we lose, and we go back to the start, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna shoot them, bang, bang, reload. Oh my god, it's taking me forever to reload. I can't do this. And it's like, oh, I'm gonna go up and punch them, because before I had a skill where my punch became a knife.
mm-hmm.
You start over, and I'm gonna go knife that little zombie. I punch him, and he staggers back a few steps, and then comes forward and bites me. It's like, oh shit, that's right, I don't have that skill.
Not
And
yet.
so-
You have to go a little bit farther into the game to
Yes, and so
activate that card.
it does that thing that generally bugs me, where, oh, I feel like such a badass by the end of run, but then I have to start over, and it just feels like you take such a step back, especially the reloading, man. Like, some of those guns, when you start off, you're reloading, and it just feels like a snail. Especially when there's 50 zombies all charging at you at once, and you're just going like, true.
Right.
But other than that, I do think it is a fun. It's a fun game, especially playing with a group of people that you can talk to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I would have a fun time playing this by myself with random people. This is a game you need to play with friends.
Right. It's in that same spirit of Left 4 Dead. It was a party game. And I've had okay fun with playing with with the other people. I mean, mostly I've played with other people in order to skill up to get more cards that I can add to my decks, so I can have a more powerful deck to start with to get cool skills and stuff. But in general, yeah, it's way more fun with people who are actually talking to each other and making fun of each other and trying to figure shit out. And yeah, it's and I like they we've talked about, I think Andrew talked about it last week, that the difficulty curve goes way up when you go from standard to veteran. There's three
Yes.
modes: standard, veteran, nightmare. Standard is easy.
I think
Veteran
I
used to
played
be
all three.
fucking
I played
hard.
all three last night.
And now it's
Standard.
not nearly as hard, but it's a challenge.
Yeah,
Especially when you get to the end, it gets very challenging. And one wrong move and it could take out down the party, and you only have 3 restarts before you have to abandon the run and start all over from the very beginning.
Well, see,
Um,
that's also the thing I like about that game is you don't have to start over from the very beginning.
That's
When
true.
you
You
choose to
could,
start a
but
run,
it dissolves the group, and if there's any random players, then you would have to go and friend them and invite them back in to go to restart at that stage.
yes. But what I'm saying is the fact that you can restart at any stage, I think is just a good user friendly thing because each stage kind of has its own unique hook, and sometimes I imagine, hey, let's just play the bridge level. Let's
Yeah,
just play the final level where we've got the machine guns, right? Let's just play level X, Y, and Z.
right.
Then the fact that you can just jump into that with some friends feels really cool and
And
friendly.
you
It's
only unlock those levels by completing those levels. So you can't jump forward to a level that you haven't done, but you can jump forward to the last level you completed and then do the next level you
yeah.
haven't done.
So like you gotta earn the right, but then once you
Yeah,
do, hey, just if I like that because it's not a game that feels like it's taking its structure really seriously. It's just like, hey, we know you just want to do the bridge level, just do the bridge level. We're gonna
right.
let you do it. But I was gonna say before, I played the 3 difficulties last night. Standard was way too easy.
Way too
Oh,
easy.
Survivor, yeah, it was kind of boring.
I don't know.
Uh,
I mean, it's
l-
fun to learn the game
it's good to learn the
without
game.
much threat of death.
There's there's no threat of death. Like it's really it. There was no point that I felt afraid.
Mhm.
Veteran feels like a really good middle ground because, and you had said this while we were playing, we kept getting trauma, which is like your max health goes down. But we were managing it because there are ways to fix that trauma, and we kept doing that. And so it was a nice back and forth of, oh shit, the team is really bad, but we're going to spend some resources and get ourselves back up to almost full health. Like there was a great back and forth of, oh, we're fucked. Yeah, we got it. Uh, and then we spent, 10 minutes playing Nightmare, and holy shit, Nightmare does not mess around.
Yeah, nightmare is nightmare. You fight for every square foot
I
of
think
clearing.
in Nightmare, I don't. We passed the first room, but like you step out 10 feet from the door and you
All
are
hell breaks loose.
swamped. All hell breaks loose. Two people go down, and you're panicking. You're
Yeah,
panicking like it's the last level.
yeah. Yeah, goalie says this is so Left for Dead. What a ripoff. No, it's not a ripoff. You know the story of this, goalie, is these are developers who left Valve that did Left for Dead, and because Valve is not doing another Left for Dead game, they thought, "Hey, let's just make another game that's essentially Left for Dead, but we're calling it Back for Blood with the 4 in the name." So that is why it is absolutely a Left 4 Dead ripoff. That is the point. Now, goalie, you and I preferred Left 4 Dead 1 because of the pacing. This does not have that classic Left 4 Dead 1 where you're wandering through and you're like, oh God, the zombies are somewhere. I hear them in the distance. Where are they? that is not where you were actually genuinely scared to move forward.
Yeah,
This
this
thing
this isn't
isn't to
paced
have
like a
that.
horror game.
This is more just like zombie hell. It's not
Yeah.
bullet hell. It's zombie hell.
Yeah.
We're constant zombies all the time coming at you, pretty much. But it is a lot of fun. And unfortunately, we couldn't do the versus mode. Versus mode was shut down.
Yeah, it was. But I think as I played, for as much as I complain about, oh, you lose all your skills at the end, I do think the skills change the way you play in a really fun way.
Mm-hmm.
Because as we were going through on veteran, I got a couple skills that would increase my health with melee kills. And so I then started looking for melee weapons. And instead of going around with a pistol, I would go around with a machete and like actually start getting up in zombies' faces and meleeing them, which is not something I did before. And so the card made me approach the game in a very different way than it would before, which
Right.
is
And
neat
then you get
to do that.
bonuses for like shotguns. Now, I don't do shotguns usually. But in this case, it was like, oh, I get increased movement speed and I get increased defense if I use a shotgun. Yes, I will start using a shotgun from here on out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think at one point I had found an automatic pistol. And one thing this game does, at least on console, it has some of the most aggressive aim assist I have ever seen in a game.
Yeah, it
And
really is.
I don't mean that in a bad way
No,
because
I love the aim assist
I
in this.
appreciate it as someone that has a controller. Like
Right.
but it's funny because I find myself playing it like I did with way back when playing Red Dead. Red Dead also had super aggressive aim assist in that, normally you hit the left trigger for the video, left trigger to look down the sights, right trigger to shoot. With this game, when you look down, press the left trigger to look down, you like lock on to an enemy, magnetize to them so much that I got into process of look down, shoot, back off, look down,
Look down,
shoot.
shoot. Back.
Even
That's exactly how I play.
even when there's like because one of the things this game does, one of the random things you can encounter is fog, where a fog settles over the level and makes it harder to see. But when you've got super aggressive aim assist, you can just look into the fog, lock on, shoot, lock on, shoot, lock
Yep.
on, shoot, lock on, shoot. Okay, the area's clear. Go forward.
Yeah, well, I mean, I had to use that sometimes. It's like I know there's something out there, but I can't see it, so I would just lock on, and shoot in case I got something. But yeah, it is. I do like the the aim assist on this a lot.
Yeah, I think it's necessary for this to be as fast paced and chaotic as it is.
Right.
You need something, especially with a controller. You need to give a controller people some way of like having that super accurate,
Mm-hmm.
of giving them the super accuracy of a mouse.
Yep. And there's a lot of also team encouraging features within the game, that every character, when you start the game, you start out picking, regardless of what you are when you're out of the game, you start with, I'll start back here, you start with picking a character, and in that character you could see in here that you have like, for example, Hoffman is one of the characters you can pick. Hoffman has his own +1 offensive inventory, so he can carry one more pipe bomb or grenade or something. But also, the team effects are 15% max team ammo capacity. So each character not only has its own bonus, it has a bonus that affects the team. And many of the cards that you pick up are team effect cards, like increasing the team amount the team gets of ammo, increasing when one person goes down, everybody else that's still standing on the team is healed by 15 points over time, or 25 points over time. It all lends itself to team play and getting together with friends. So it becomes very much a party game, the way that Left 4 Dead was intended to be. So I love the fact that they did not lose that and just turned it into a first person shooter. The world is littered with first person shooter zombie games.
Yeah.
Need to have something a little different, and that's what they did.
I think they went further than that because you mentioned before about your ability to drop stuff, drop
Mhm.
money, drop ammo. That becomes really, really important later on.
When you get into the higher levels, especially ammo, there is an ammo shortage. You got one gun. That gun shoots only one kind of ammo, but you're collecting all 4 types of ammo,
Yeah.
which means that at the beginning of the level, everybody throws down the ammo they don't need, and everybody else picks up the ammo they do need, and then everybody else picks whatever's left up on the ground, and you all become each other's ammo crates.
And what I found really fun is, and this is why I would not want to play this with random people that you can't chat with. Um, excuse me. Uh, Sometimes midway through the game, I'd be like, "Oh shit, I'm out of shotgun ammo. Does anybody have shotgun ammo?" And someone would say, "Yeah, I've got some," and drop it down, and I'd pick it up. And so you're always communicating in that way of, "Oh, I need this. Do you need this?"
Mhm.
And there were also times when I think I was at one point I was running around with an SMG, which uses pistol ammo, like pistol SMG ammo, and I thought, oh, maybe I'll get something else. But I looked at what other people were using. You were using, I think, a light machine gun. Someone
Mhm.
else was using an assault rifle, and the other person was using an assault rifle. So I thought they're all using different types of guns. I'll stick with the SMG because that
Right.
means
Be
I'm
the
not gonna
only
be
one
taking
using
their
that y
ammo.
right, that they will always be dropping that ammo for you and always have lots of
Yeah,
it.
and so it feels like that's another way the game kind of subtly encourages a bit of distinction between players of, hey, everyone shouldn't be going around with assault rifles because you'll not have enough ammo. Maybe someone should use a sniper rifle because God knows we found so much sniper ammo as
I
we
think that
were
the
going.
game figures out what ammo is not being used and throws that ammo at you.
Maybe
Try
because
to encourage you. It's like, "Oh,
fuck, man.
everybody's using rifles, assault rifles. Maybe we wanna throw in some sniper rifle ammo everywhere so that somebody picks up a sniper rifle."
Because it's like, oh, hey, ammo, sniper. Oh, hey, more ammo, sniper.
Right.
Like, god damn. Come on.
Yeah, and little things like the eagle, the, pistol uses sniper ammo and not pistol ammo,
Oh, yeah,
which
the
I was
Desert
giving
Eagle.
away all my sniper ammo, and then why am I out of ammo on this thing? Because it takes sniper. Goalie asks, "Is this for the PS4?" And that's kind of a funny story
I think
for me.
it is.
It's on the PS4? I know it's on the
Yeah.
PS5. Yes, it is on PlayStation. The beta is still going for it's a free beta, so now is your chance.
Yeah, and on
It's going until today, the
Back
rest
4
of the
Blood
day.
is like for last gen and new gen systems. It's
Right.
for everything.
And it also is PC, and there's no demo for this on Xbox, but it will be on Game Pass on day 1. And
Yes.
I figured it was PlayStation 4 only, and it wasn't PlayStation, like, there wouldn't be anything Xbox, it wouldn't come to Game Pass, so I bought it, and then I realized, "Oh, it is coming to Game Pass. God damn it, I didn't need to buy it." But I pre-ordered it.
Yeah, I remember you were talking about it last night, and I thought, wait, this is coming out for Xbox, right? And then after looking it up, I didn't know that it was Game Pass day one. But yeah. So hey, Game Pass is cool.
Yep. So, yeah, highly recommend. Just a fun game, especially playing with friends. The crossplay seems to work really well.
Yeah, because
Surprisingly well.
we were
Even though
playing
even when it opened up to everybody, it still played really well.
with do you know if it's cross console play? Because I know we were playing with people on PC and that worked like
Yeah,
seamlessly.
Rhythm Bat is on PC,
Um,
and
but I know we played with someone named Xbox Mini, but they were on a PlayStation, and so it
yeah,
keeps throwing me for a bit of a loop.
it wasn't somebody on the Xbox.
That's right, because the Xbox didn't have the beta.
Doesn't have a demo.
I wonder if there will actually be cross-console play.
I think there will be cross-console play. Well,
Okay.
maybe not. That's a good question. Yeah, in fact, Rhythmbat in the chat says, I killed Nick with a fire axe last night. That was fun.
Yeah.
Because you can go out onto the shooting range when you're between games and kill each other if you feel like it.
Yeah, get all the guns. What is nice is the shooting range gives you all the guns, all the melee weapons, all the like grenades and stuff, along with all the attachments that let you just kind of go nuts and experiment with everything, which is
Mhm.
pretty cool. And so, yeah, that if someone picks up the fire axe, which is a one-hit kill, and just stands in the doorway swinging like a madman,
Nothing can get past them.
nope.
At least until their stamina runs out, and then you're fucked.
Wait, what? Okay, you left somewhere? Okay. I was looking I didn't realize that for a second. I was looking at a different news item.
Oh,
Um,
I hit the leave. Yeah, is PS4, PS5 crossplay? Yes.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, PS4, PS5 crossplay, and it's also PS4, PS5, and PC crossplay, and works beautifully.
Yeah.
I'm having
Yeah.
no problem with getting like matches. Their matchmaking seems to be working pretty freaking well. Haven't really had an issue getting matches. So in general, I would recommend if you are at all interested in this game, if you are craving the Left 4 Dead series, particularly the Left 4 Dead 2, and want more, play this beta. You've only got 1 day left. Play this beta tonight. Tonight. I think do we know when it ends? When the beta ends? I'll look this up. Back for Blood beta dates. Let's see. It looks like it looks like there is a beta on Xbox One and Xbox Series X. This is according to inverse.com.
Oh.
So I have not seen anybody with that. It concludes at 3 p.m. Eastern time. So it already ended. August 6th.
Oh yeah.
No, tomorrow. Tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time. So you have until tonight to play it. I will be playing it. You have tonight to try it out. I recommend it. It's just pure fun. Done the way that games ought to be. That is
Yeah.
my humble opinion. So, and you have two other games to talk about?
Oh shit, I only remember one other.
Well, there's Vigil the
I
Longest
played
Night. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So that is a game I picked up on Switch a couple days ago. Weirdly enough, I saw a YouTube video about it. A random YouTuber that I'd never watched before was just like, "Hey, here's some Souls-like games that I like," and he mentioned this one, and I thought it looked pretty neat. It's a 2D Souls. It's not really a Souls-like game. This is the thing that I find interesting about it. It's a 2D side-scrolling action game. The combat is fairly Souls-like in that, it's slow-paced, it's deliberate, it's a lot of understanding patterns of attack and being able to dodge them. But it plays like a kind of old school RPG where you're going around exploring a town, collecting quests from people, then going out into a dungeon, and fighting through, killing a boss, resolving these side quests and things like that. And every time you die, you respawn at a save point, but it's not like you leave behind your souls and then you have to go collect your souls like in a Souls like game. Like that's one of the not necessary traits, but one of the standard things in that genre, and this doesn't do that. But I find the combat is pretty fun and the story is interesting. It does
the
not
art is beautiful.
Yeah, it's a nice looking game. I have so far been playing it a lot on handheld, but I really want to play it on the TV because it actually looks really good. The story, it just kind of throws you into the deep end, where you are this woman going on like a quest to become a vigilant, and that involves going through some kind of trial. And so you're exploring this town, helping people out because that's kind of what you do. You're training to be a super cop or something. It doesn't give you a lot of context. Um, but I'm kind of enjoying that because as I'm going through the game more and more, as I'm talking to characters and they're talking about, oh, this girl has gone missing, this guard has gone missing. Oh, yeah, they've been in a relationship. They totally ran off with each other. And other people are like, no, she would never do that.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of slowly learning, the context of this fantasy world. What are the rules to this world? What is magic like? You know, there is an emperor, but no one in the place around you really cares about that. So it's like, yeah, there is this larger politicking thing going on, but it feels like a lot of the game takes place in the backwoods of some empire where no one cares about those larger politics, which is kind of a neat setting. Um, so yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I don't have too much to say about it other than just a random game I picked up kind of on a whim of a YouTube video, and it turned out to be a really fun RPG, side-scrolling RPG.
Yeah, looks cool.
Yeah.
All right, and the next one that you had was The Great
What?
Perhaps.
Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting about this one. Which is not like because it was a bad game. It's just because it was pretty short. Because that's all it is. I played it over like 2 to 3 days. Like as the Olympics was coming to an end last Sunday. This is a 2D side-scrolling, not really point-and-click adventure, but it's an adventure game.
Mm-hmm.
You are this astronaut. Earth is basically gone, and you decide to go down to the abandoned Earth, abandoned dead Earth, and try to, I don't know, find your family, what remains of them. When you land, you find this lantern that seems to be able to turn back time. And so you're able to jump back and forth between the past when everyone was alive and the present when everything is destroyed and dead.
Mm-hmm.
And that leads to a lot of, interesting puzzle solving where, oh, this door is blocked by rubble, but if I go into the past, I can walk past it. Or this door is guarded by a security guard now. Well, I'm going to hop into the present, walk past it because everyone's gone, and get through it that way. And, you're bringing items back and forth to get through things. Fairly simple in the grand scheme of things. There are a couple sections that I found kind of frustrating because, like in this video, in the present, he came to a large chasm. And so he jumped to the past to, a time when there was land here. Uh, you can only jump to the past for a set amount of time, like 30 seconds. And generally, that's enough time to get done all the things you need to do. But if you encounter a situation where, oh shit, I'm suddenly forced back to the present and I'm in a chasm, I just die.
Mm-hmm.
Or the other times when you're walking along a railroad tracks in the past, and you have to be able like have your finger on the button to jump between them because if that train comes, you die. And so there was several instances where I felt like jumping back and forth, it killed me in a couple ways that kind of felt like bullshit. I was like, I couldn't really protect myself against that. I couldn't really predict that. And it kind of felt like, oh, you're just making me replay the past. I think it's an actual saying that kind of references the future has like the great perhaps, oh, there's
Mm-hmm.
many possibilities involved in it. Um, but yeah, another Switch game that I kind of picked up on a whim for sale one day because I really like the art. Like it's a really pretty, like kind of hand drawn animated game. Um, and yeah, it's just a good short little adventure game.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So, do we want to hit the news, sir?
Sure.
And thank you for the links for both the great perhaps and AC Wraith said, I've had it on my Steam wish list ever since I played the demo.
Oh, he's talking about Vigil.
Oh, Vigil? Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
There's the link for Vigil.
Yeah, you especially AC Wraith. I think you'd like Vigil.
Yeah. All right, let's hit. Wait for it. I have to get to the right screen. All right, so let's hit the news. This is the GameHounds News, the news, views, and commentary of the week in gaming with Gamer Edie and Nick DiNicola. And our first item is...
I guess I'll let you take over the Activision Blizzard.
This week in Activision Blizzard.
What was it? The Activision Blizzard shit show?
The absolute Activision Blizzard shit show. The shitty show that is Activision Blizzard. So yeah, more developments that have happened. You know that last week we had the removal of Fran Townsend as being the head of the Activision Blizzard King Women's Network after her really abhorrent defense of Activision and categorical denial that anything bad ever happened to anybody ever at Activision. Then J. Allen Brack, the president of Blizzard, was stepped down, and now we have two co-leaders of the company. Jesse Meschuk, who was the head of HR, left the company. He was specifically identified, not in name, but certainly his department was identified in the lawsuit from the state of California against Activision Blizzard that HR just ignored complaints to HR for racial discrimination, sexual harassment, the whole 9 yards, because the head of HR was friends with some of the bros who were doing some of the worst offenders at Blizzard and other places. So that he was a friend and wanted to help his friends. So he just told all those people to those mouthy women to shut up and get back to work. Well, this week, we have new departures, 3 of them. Diablo 4 creator, game director, Luis Barriga, lead designer Jesse McCree, and World of Warcraft designer Jonathan LaCraft were all apparently let go. We don't know.
And they were all
been disappeared from Blizzard.
And they were all people that were in that infamous photo of the Cosby Suite.
2 of them were. Luis Barriga wasn't, but as far as I know, but Jesse McCree and Jonathan LaCraft were in the infamous Cosby Suite photo with Alex Afrasiabi, who was also similarly quietly let go in 2020. So yeah, no announcement. No confirmation that when reporters have asked if these 3 are still working for the company, their names don't appear on the Blizzard directory anymore, and you can't find their names in company Slack channels, which is usually an indication that they no longer work for the company. However, Activision Blizzard has not made a more formal statement about it and has not said anything. They just made those 3 people quietly disappear. Very much how they did with Alex Afrasiabi.
Yeah. They make it a news announcement when, hey, this, because I know before Alex
make a news announcement when Bobby Kotick farts too loud, but they didn't make an announcement
couple months
about
ago.
This.
Like before Alex left, some other person at Blizzard who had worked there a while left, and they kind of made a big announcement about it. Of, hey, this 20-year employee is leaving. But it's clear that this is an instance of them kind of quietly cleaning house, getting rid of all the named bad actors that they can to try to.
In addition, Corey Stockton, which was one of the other faces in the Cosby Suite photo, he's one of the few that was actually still with the company in 2021. He appears to still be employed by Activision Blizzard, but he was very also similarly quietly put on leave last week. So possibly he's been suspended pending. We don't know. But here's the thing. First, I'm glad. That's a good thing. These people should not be working at Blizzard. They shouldn't be working anywhere. But the nature of how they were separated so very quietly, and so just, like they're not with the company anymore. It really smacks of this way that they handled Alex Afrasiabi, who was the high king of sexual harassment and abuse of women in the company, or even women fans. They did it quietly, no fanfare. These were sacrificial lambs meant to allow the company to sweep it all under the rug and pretend it didn't happen. So Activision, even with everything going on, the shining light on the darkness that has been Activision Blizzard for decades, they insist on doing the right thing, but in a way that is very cosmetic. It's PR damage control, and it's not Blizzard taking accountability for anything that happened. It's all about protecting the company. That's why they were separated the way that they were. It's like killing cockroaches without ever actually cleaning the kitchen that caused the cockroaches to be there in the first place. It's just, we're just going to superficially sweep the cockroaches away, and we are a perfect kitchen. So yeah, that happened, and does not bode well. Honestly, the more that Activision does and the longer that this goes on, the more that I realize what a terrible place it is to work. Both Activision and Blizzard. Interestingly enough, haven't heard anything about King, but it
I don't
is
know how
a signal
big.
of how fucked up that whole culture is.
Yeah, I don't know how big King is, because I know they broke out with that mobile game. But from what I have no idea how big they are. So maybe this is just an instance of, Activision Blizzard being these kind of huge companies making multiple games, and King could be a relatively small one
Yeah, I don't
that
know.
just kind of skates under all the shit. But
Well,
again,
King doesn't
I have
pretend to be anything what it is. It's nobody goes to King because they want to make art.
Candy Crush. That's what they do.
Yeah, exactly. They're the guys that all they want to do is make money and get middle-aged women addicted to gaming, like to their iPhone camp.
Not middle-aged women, children too. Come on.
Children too. No,
Yes.
children are going to go to Overwatch and to Fortnite. The children are doing Fortnite and Minecraft. So yeah, there was the article, and that does contain information on all three. So the other development that happened in this week in Blizzard was that Overwatch League streamers are actually it's something that started small and is growing, no longer calling the character Jesse McCree, that's a cowboy in Overwatch, no longer calling the character by his name. They're calling him the cowboy.
Yeah, because
They
he's
don't want
named
to,
after.
because he's named after Jesse McCree.
Yeah.
Right. Who is one of the guys that was in the Cosby Suite and is now no longer with the company.
Yeah.
So yeah, Overwatch League caster Bren Hook and Josh Sideshow Wilkinson started doing it this week, where they were no longer using McCree's character's name and just calling the character the cowboy. And then another streamer, Mitch Uber Leslie, tweeted out that he thought that this was a good idea. So it's becoming a thing that no one is calling the cowboy Jesse McCree. They're calling him the cowboy. Now, a lot of fans are also putting out there that they want that character's name changed, or even possibly the character moved. Mostly they just want the name changed. But so far the character has not been changed by Blizzard or Activision. Though that something like that did happen immediately with World of Warcraft, removing the characters that were named for Alex Afrasiabi from World of Warcraft. But Bobby Kotick said in his statement, one of the things in his big statement, that he came in like a white knight going, everybody that spoke before me was kind of tone deaf. Let me be your Uncle Bobby and make it better. One of the things that in his let me make it better bullet points was that they would look at in-game content. And because removing in-game content that was deemed offensive. And so far, that in-game content, changing the Cowboys' name, has not happened. No word of whether that will happen.
Yeah.
But
honestly, when I first
that's
read
happening.
this,
People
when
are
I
angry
first
about it.
read that, I thought they should just change his name to McGree and have him say, everyone's been pronouncing it wrong this whole time.
Right. There's a bunch of things that they could do. They're the creative people. They can figure this out. So yeah, that's a thing that's happening. And yeah. It's just becoming such a PR nightmare for
Yeah.
Blizzard, and it's not going away at
Well,
anytime
on
soon.
that subject,
Yeah.
Polygon also put out sort of an in-depth interview with several Blizzard QA, Activision Blizzard QA people. And, they say the thing that you generally expect, that the pay is really low, the crunch is really bad, they're just kind of used and chewed up by this system. But what I thought was interesting, a point that I think deserves to be highlighted amidst the general, like, hey, they're not low-skilled workers. Like, QA development is still kind of important software development. Is that the way the Activision, specifically the Activision QA contracts are structured, is that they're kind of on these 3-month intervals, where like you get a contract for 3 months and then you can't get one for 3 months. So
Right.
you're kind of constantly on this on off for 3 months. But what the article says is a lot of people, they can't afford to be without a job for 3 months.
Right. Not making the money that they're making from.
So what
Activision.
happens is they'll get a job, they do it for 3 months, and then it's like, well, I can't do this again, so I'm just going to get a job elsewhere. And that creates this real huge churn in the QA department. And that's particularly problematic because for the longest time, at least when I was always growing up, QA was like your foot in the door.
Mhm.
That is how you got into the games industry.
Right.
You're QA, then you kind of step up a little bit. I even have friends. My former roommate used to be a QA guy for EA, and I think now he's a sound designer. Like, that was their foot in the door. And so it feels like
Hey.
this system is
No.
specifically designed to not allow future developers their foot in the door. So, you other than
Right.
low pay, massive crunch, working 7 days a week, all that's terrible.
Yeah, that they're
Couple that-
working. They're working like not just 7 days a week. They are working. I think they said that it was 70 to 80 hours a week, and that was a standard for these QA people.
Yeah, 7 days a week, 10 hours a day.
Mhm.
But I just found it, at a certain point, you kind of get numb to the stories of abuse. Like, hey, look, they're crunching and they don't have any personal time because they're just working and they're paid pittance. But in addition to that, they're doing all that within a structure that is designed not to allow them any sort of advancement in the industry.
Right.
Which just seems like a particular slap in the face.
Yeah, in fact, another thing that I've just added thing calls keep talking.
Shoot. I do have one little tiny dim
Hold on a
star
second.
of
No.
positive news for Activision.
Okay, well, I'll hold off on that because I can
Okay, you got more bad news.
I got it. Yeah, I got more bad news. So this is
Okay.
something else that I forgot about until you mentioned it. So there's employees now are feeling emboldened to speak out about the things that they have had to endure, specifically in the QA department, which it says a lot because these are people that are on 3-month contracts and the lowest paid and the lowest status jobs, and their lives are very much hung on the fact that they are working 70 to 80 hours for 3 months straight, and then they walk away and they're not able to even in some cases feed themselves. In addition to that problem, when you talk about how they're also working on these awful things, one of the things that the trans employees that are QA testers and specifically were complaining are saying is that Activision's systems dead names trans employees, which can be not only just horribly offensive, but really fucking dangerous. So in they have two different systems. One, they have Slack. Two is another internal system where they are only allowed to use their legal names. Well, many trans employees have not changed their legal name. So their legal name is still their dead name. And this means that if you want to be are trans and you want to be employed by Activision, get used to the idea of every single person in the company knowing that you're trans and what your dead name was, which is a really, for many people, a really emotionally scarring situation to be in. In addition to the fact that some people don't want their coworkers to know them as that they are trans because it sets them up for possible harassment and abuse. And Activision bros didn't fail to deliver on that promise either. In fact, one trans employee said that he wanted to see if he could go to HR to change that system so he wasn't being dead named every time that he commented on the system. One of his coworkers said within earshot of him, "Well, I self-identify as an attack helicopter."
That one joke.
And nobody stopped him from saying, like, there was no comeuppance, there was no anything, which is patently against the law, especially in California. That's an example of exactly the shit that trans people deal with, the disrespect, the hostility every fucking day. And that is why it is so dangerous to not have dead names publicly available to anybody in the company. But they're doing it. And so, yeah, more bad news. Just more shitty. Any one of those things, any like one employee doing bad things, that would be one thing. But the fact that it is so like every level of anyone that could be discriminated against was discriminated against openly and blatantly and constantly for decades. That is what we're starting to, as all of the people are speaking out, as the scab is being lifted and you're seeing all of the deep infection in that company, you're starting to understand the scope of how bad it has been for so many employees that are either women or of minorities or trans or whatever. If you weren't a white middle class bro, it sucked to work there. So yeah, that's the other thing that I found out. Your slight bit of good news.
Crowds and viewers for the Call of Duty League will have to be vaccinated or provide proof of a negative COVID test.
Yeah.
So Activision maybe treat its employees terribly, but they don't want their viewers to die of COVID. So something, I guess.
Good for them.
I mean, hey,
I'm
it
not
puts
gonna
them-
lie. If there was a plague, like a deadly plague, I really wouldn't mind it going through the Call of Duty crowds. I said it. I said it. It's kind of like when, I mean, if you're from Florida, I get it. I apologize if you are a big fan of your state, but there's a part of me that's like, if you're going to wipe out a good portion of the population, Florida's not a bad place to start. It really isn't. The world
Where
could do with a few less Florida men. Just
where
saying.
is this championship taking place? I'm trying to see. Is it from Florida?
It would not surprise me.
No.
Actually, if it's in Florida, then they may actually have to drop their vax.
No, Los Angeles County.
Oh,
which
okay, yeah.
Kind of just
Yeah, that's why. Because LA County fucking's not fucking around about that. They're clamping the fuck down. They were like mask mandatory before even masks were recommended in California. LA was like, masks fucking mandatory now. Indoors, masks, period. The end. You got a problem with that? Fuck off. Yeah, LA's already seen the shit show that the world can be when you have rampant COVID going through your systems. So, yeah, if it was in Florida, they wouldn't be asking for vaccination and testing.
No.
Well, this is not Activision. This is LA County that's causing that.
But this is in kind of a related thing to the Activision stuff, which kind of raises a interesting counterpoint to all that stuff about how, the canceling can be used for good and bad. Because I think EA recently fired an Apex Legend developer over past comments, and the article on Kotaku makes this sound like a James Gunn type of situation, where, if you remember, James Gunn was fired by Disney from Guardians of the Galaxy 3 after some past comments he made joking about pedophilia came out. James Gunn fully owned it, said, yeah, I was young, I was looking to get a rise out of people, I was stupid, I fully own this. Also, these remarks were specifically sought out by right-wing trolls who hate me now for my progressive views. And that kind of seems like what has happened to Daniel Klein, a developer on Apex Legends. Some Twitter stuff that he said mocking women and black people, which generally really, really shitty comments. Like, also in the grand scheme of things, like, not a joke, just like really, really shitty comments.
Oh, really? They were not just like, one-off, like.
Well, they may have been one-off things, I don't know, but it's not like, oh yeah, I can clearly see you're making a joke. It's like, okay.
It wasn't a joke gone wrong. It was seriously just saying shitty things.
Yeah. And that was back in 2007. And so, to his credit, he has put out a statement on a Twitter thread that basically just owns up to it and says,
Good.
yeah, I said this stuff. I'm embarrassed about it. It was stupid to say. I'm owning up to it now. And that's that. And he also pointed out that I believe this stuff is coming to light because other fans, Apex Legends fans, went looking for something to show to EA to get me fired. And I guess in his exit interview, he specifically talked to people at EA and said, you should watch out for people doing this to other employees. So, yeah, it's a situation where, there's context always matters, both back then and also how you deal with it now. And I think I've always been of the belief that you can call someone out for past remarks all you want. And if they own up to it, then it's like, okay, forgive and forget. If they double down on it, then you can generally say, okay, you're kind of a bad person. But if you can acknowledge that your past self made mistakes, then that just shows, typical
really the
human
only
growth.
If anybody has made past remarks that were on the interweb that were, even if they were jokes at the time, that now in present day context would be offensive, you kind of got to get ahead of that. You have to announce that you said this before and said that you were wrong,
Yeah, yeah.
and out them. Because if you don't out them, somebody else will. Means you have to go back through your Twitter history. Sorry.
Which honestly is like, I don't remember what I said in
I have no
2007.
idea what I said. I actually tried to scroll back to my earliest days on Twitter, and I have no idea what I said. So I have to go back and look to see. Just, now that we're looking at stuff in modern day context, how it would, be look. Does it hold up?
See, that's why I've been ahead of the game this whole time. I just don't have a
You just
Twitter.
don't
I
have a
never
Twitter
post
account.
on Facebook. Yeah, I'm
Good
ahead
for
of
you.
all of you. I can say all the horrible shit I want, and no one will know. No one can use it against me.
Thank good you're not a streamer or anything, and we don't have the last 10 years of your life saying offensive things.
Oh no, I've never said anything wrong on this podcast. This podcast is 100%
AC
on
Wraith?
the up and up.
AC Wraith, or I like to call the Wayback Machine. I'm sure he could find something.
No, never.
Probably can find something for me too. And then there's Goalie, who's just a walking lawsuit. Walking lawsuit. You must know why he's not on the show. No, we did not quietly make Goalie disappear. He left of his own volition. But so, next item.
Okay, most of the other stuff I have is way more lighthearted.
Yes.
An update to something from last week. What? You compared a game experience to finding the giant dick of a trans lover?
I love AC Wraith. I love you that you can remember shit like
Pics or it didn't happen. I demand a timestamp for that.
Oh, he'll give you that timestamp.
Okay.
This is AC Wraith. He catalogs everything.
I also like that he just pulled that up.
He's a genius. He truly is. He is a genius. We are lucky to have him.
Yes. What was I going to say? That's right. Follow up to last week.
Yes.
When there was a video kind of going around about a Halo bot possibly teabagging people.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out, no. It's not really teabagging people. Basically, it's just sometimes the AI gets into kind of a glitch when it's trying to get over small humps, small things.
Mm-hmm.
And in this case, the character model was trying to jump, couldn't quite get it, and then when it landed, it went through the animation of landing, which is crouch. So it jumped, but didn't jump all the way because it kind of got caught in the geometry. So it's like jump, land, jump, land, jump, land. But if it's a half jump, it just kind of looks like it's crouching. And so it kind of got stuck in that loop of cycling. That made it look like it was teabagging people. Which, yeah, makes perfect sense. Doesn't change the fact that it's funny video.
Okay.
But
yeah, that's a thing. Next item?
Oh, do you not have anything else?
No.
Oh, okay.
All you.
The infamous game Abandoned that was theoretic. People assumed it was a game made by Kojima, but the developers got out there and had to say, no, it's not really. Whole thing about that. They put out a trailer recently, and it's a very, very anticlimactic trailer because it's basically a guy taking 2 steps, 3 steps, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
What I find more interesting is that this game has an app, and you can see it here. There's a menu for this app on PlayStation 5. You launch that app, and then from that app, you can watch various videos. You get this teaser video, and then it has kind of X'd out things for a gameplay video, Gamescom trailer. just the fact that these trailers are not just on the service. You have to download an app. Oh, excuse me. And
And
that
that's it.
app is specifically designed to show trailers, including this like 3 seconds of a guy walking, which is nothing.
Yeah, it's a half completed app is what it is. That's all it was.
Yeah. I don't understand why this game gets special app treatment, and also why even bother putting out a video like that?
Yeah.
Like what? It just doesn't seem to accomplish anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Felt like a giant troll.
Yeah. Don't know. Don't know what they're thinking.
Yeah.
But yeah. The only thing that could make this more of a troll is to actually have had a Rick Astley video in there.
No, what would have been great is if Kojima introduced it.
And it would break the internet.
I'm happy to show off this game I have nothing to do with. 5 seconds of walking.
And then
3
he walks away. It's Kojima's feet. It's Kojima's feet. Those are the feet. Look at that. No, let me scroll back here. Let me see if we can find the feet. Where's the feet?
Do you spend a lot of time looking at Kojima's feet? Can you identify his feet on site?
No. Let's see. Where are we? Let's find Kojima's feet. We're heading into the stream. There you go. There he is. Kojima's feet right there.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely a Kojima foot.
Definitely Kojima.
Yeah. It's got his trademark gait.
Starting now, everybody, spread the word. That was Hideo Kojima's feet. And you know, I gotta say, the name of the game being Abandoned is a interesting thing because it makes for headlines. Let's say things like abandoned app
Oh, yeah.
and abandoned trailer, abandoned game.
It's like,
It's
what?
like,
Huh?
really? They've abandoned? What game got abandoned? Oh, the game abandoned. It makes
Yeah.
it sound like, yeah, we're abandoned.
I mean, that
Abandoning it.
okay. This is
Tossing
just
it.
a English major pet peeve about any headline involving video games. And I know this is mostly involving video games. When in any article, generally, when they talk about movies, they put some sort of quotation around the title.
Mhm.
No one does that for games in headlines. That would solve so many issues.
Yeah, it really would. In let's see, AP. I forget if it's AP or Chicago. I think it's in Chicago style. There's a specific delineation of whether things go into quotes or if they're italicized. A full book is italicized, but the chapter would be in quotes. A song would be in quotes. The album name would be italicized. So the bigger thing is italicized. The smaller component of that would be in quotes. But yeah, that's what they really should do. Is they should italicize a game.
Yeah.
Should just the way that they do books and everything else. But they don't. All right, next item.
Final item, just to kind of keep dunking on Cyberpunk, and just an example of how that game has kind of become a go-to game to dunk on.
Mm-hmm.
The studio behind Black Desert Online is coming out with a new game, or I think the name of the developer is Pearl Abyss, and they create Black Desert Online. And they're coming out with a new game called Crimson Desert, which they had actually shown off at E3 that I thought looked like one of the best games I'd seen on E3. They're delaying it. And in their commenting on delaying it, they kind of specifically say, where's the quote? Lowering quality to meet the deadline, like the recent Cyberpunk 2077, doesn't align with Pearl Abyss's development goals.
Oh my. Oh my.
So, yeah.
They actually said Cyberpunk and pointed them of like, we're not going to pull a
lowering
Cyberpunk.
quality to meet deadlines like Cyberpunk 2077.
Wow.
So just goes to show how far that game has kind of become this like the go-to example of that.
Yeah. By the way, this game looks goddamn gorgeous.
I know, right?
Goddamn gorgeous.
Their MMO is on Game Pass, and I'm always tempted to just play it, but it's an MMO. I don't know if I'd like it, but I imagine it would just look really damn pretty.
Oh God, this is so pretty. I know, of course, this is just a trailer and it's all, rendered CGI. It's not actual gameplay, but still, it is really freaking gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good lighting.
So yeah, very good lighting. Good lighting is important. So you have one more.
I do? Oh, yeah. Battlefield 2042 has been holding a technical preview, and
Mhm.
like you would expect, players sign an NDA to say, hey, we won't discuss the things that we've seen. And of course, players have discussed the things that they've seen as soon as they've stopped playing it. It got to the point where EA actually had to come out and like generally remind people, hey, you signed an NDA, we can ban you from the game if we catch you talking about it. Because people have been putting out not just descriptions of what they've been playing, but also a lot of videos.
Mhm. Really, that's a really dumb thing to do when they're signing an NDA.
I mean, descriptions I could get. You can post on Reddit a description that stays anonymous, but a video feels like
Yeah.
it's a little harder.
I'm really well, I mean, that's just I get it that people are excited and they kind of want to just, throw up a video of like, hey, look what I've got. Look what I can do. Look what I have access to. Um, but yeah, it's just a stupid, stupid thing to do. But yeah, um, I'm still excited for this game. I'm not gonna lie. I really am.
Yeah,
I
ditto.
haven't been excited for a military shooter in a really, 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 really long time. And I'm really excited for this. So, yeah, I mean, sure, absolutely, ban the shit out of them. They knew what they were going into. If you have obligations and responsibilities in order to have the um, the luxury of being able to play test Battlefield.
And if you want to
You
talk
should
about it,
know. You should know this.
talk about it with someone who can keep the secret.
Right. Don't make
Don't put it out
videos.
there in public.
Don't make videos and throw it up there. Like you're like, "Ooh, look what I get to do." It's like, not anymore, asshole. Idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to find good help.
And actually,
Uh,
I just found one final story that I think is particularly fun.
okay.
In Resident Evil games, there are these items called herbs, and you can kind of crush them up, and they're healing items. And you can mix together red herbs and green herbs, and they've been
Mhm.
in like every Resident Evil game. They are now officially an item you can buy, and they are bath bombs, basically, because they come in the same way that they are presented in the game, which is like a bunch of herbs on a piece of paper, which almost looks like it's a weed thing that you could roll it up and smoke it. But in order to sell it in Japan and elsewhere, they're presenting it as a bath bomb of just a green herb and red herb bath thing, which I thought is kind of fun and cute.
I'm trying to find something for
Here,
Capcom. Yeah, bath bomb, blood bath bomb. That's not the same thing. Seeing for there they are. Found them. Copy. Paste. All right, there it is. And there are the bath bombs, red herbs and green herbs. Yeah, they totally look like drugs. Totally look like drugs.
yeah, and that's how they're presented in the game too. So I'm kind of happy that they found a way to sell them officially in a way that kind of keeps the presentation in game.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's cute.
So yeah, here's the online store.
Did you click anything?
There it is. There's the official Parco online store.
Oh.
And I guess it's in here somewhere. I'm not looking for it.
Yeah, I can't read it.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't either. I guess I could translate, but
I think it's the top one. The very first item. For
first item?
990 yen? Yeah.
No, that's looks like a paper sheet. It's a report
Oh,
pad.
it is a report pad. Okay. I thought that was like the cover.
Yeah. No, let's see. They've got tablet candy.
Okay. Candy in an umbrella bottle like that is pretty good.
Yeah. Let's see what else we've got. What are these?
Those glow sticks?
No, I can't tell what they are. And I can't read Japanese, so I can't tell what they are. They look like they might be lanyards.
Oh, Stickers, bags, tote bags, mugs.
From Godot's Cafe.
I don't. That's not a Resident Evil thing.
Oh.
I don't know what Godot's Cafe is from. Oh, they got a cute little Okami plushie. Oh, that's okay. That would be fun.
Yeah. All right. So that was our last item. Anything else? AC Ray says this has got to be enthralling audio content. Yeah, sometimes I forget that we're doing an audio podcast. I'm sorry, audio people. I suck. So, if you are done, do you have
that's
anything
all
else?
I got.
Yeah,
Nope.
that's all I got. It's kind of a short show, but that's okay. Short shows are good. We'll be back next week with Andrew. Are you going to play some Back for Blood tonight?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if I'll like boot up the PlayStation in time to catch it.
All right.
Because also, God, I just want to go back to Returnal. Like, it's the kind
How
of game
is it that you
I
ever
keep
always end up
thinking
whenever there's a
about.
game I want to play, you get stuck on like, oh, there's this game I'm really addicted to.
I don't know. It does. I mean, to be fair, Back for Blood will come out for good.
When's the
Long
release date
after
on
I'm
that?
done. It's October something.
Yeah, I don't want to wait for October. Come on. That's so long.
Actually, I know. Is it October or is it? Because I know Battlefield's also October.
October's gonna suck. Back.
Yeah, October 12th. And then the
Okay.
week after is Battlefield. So October is just a big multiplayer month.
It's gonna be tough. Gonna be a really difficult month, but we'll get through it somehow,
Yeah.
some way we'll make it. So let's is there anything else before we close this out?
No, that's everything
All
I've
right.
got.
Then let's close this out. You've been listening to GameHounds episode 606. We did record this on Sunday, August 15th, 2021. I'm Edie Sellers. With me has been Nick DiNicola. Ways to get a hold of us. GameHounds.net is our website. It is broken right now because somebody suggested that I add something to this website and then it broke it all. And so, yeah, we'll be getting that fixed soon enough. But yes, the GameHounds.net is the website. GameHounds@gmail.com is our email. If you ever want to get to watch us or listen to us live, you can listen to us on Spreaker. That's speaker with an R, Spreaker.com. We do this show live every Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. And we also do the audio show. Thank you very much to all the patrons through Patreon. Our Patreon is patreon.com/the GameHounds. take that back. Patreon.com/GameHounds. Thank you so much for that, because you allow us to be able to do a live show on YouTube and on Twitch, not on Facebook. Good, Facebook's banned us because we bad people. But if you ever want to watch us on Facebook or Twitch, on Twitch or YouTube. On YouTube, we are GameHounds Vids, as in VIDS videos, VIDS. GameHounds Vids, check us out Sundays at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. Also, we are on Twitch under The GameHounds. Don't forget to like or subscribe or get notification. Hit the notifications bells and approve for notifications so you know when we go live, because frequently on Twitch, this isn't the only thing we do. We will do gameplay of things like Back 4 Blood. When we're all playing together, we will totally be playing. Check that out, especially on Twitch. The GameHounds on Twitch. Nick, have a great weekend. Have a great week. We will talk to you next week. And to Andrew, if you're watching, talk to you next week. Thank you to everybody who joined us live. AC Wraith, of course, who provides all the links that we talk about. Blood Reaper, we had Rhythm Bat, we had Goalie in here. Thank you so much all for being here. If I missed your name, I'm so sorry. Have a good week. Be safe. Wear your fucking mask. Wash your fucking hands and get the fucking vaccine. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye. All right. Oh, by the way, AC Wraith, I saw the comment that you made on Twitter about, or on Spreaker, about all the links are in the description except for the bouldering from Facebook for obvious reasons or something like that.
I also see he says, join my procedural generation dark side. And I will say, Hades is out now on PlayStation and Game Pass. And I'm going to play it on Game Pass whenever I get the time, because I've heard such great things about it, and it's another rogue-like light game.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe this is the start of a trend. Maybe I'll end up going back to like Dead Cells and realize, oh man, this game is great.
You could.
I mean, the favorite game I played this year so far is Subnautica, which is a genre that I've completely never dipped my toes into before. And so between that and Returnal is like, oh shit, there's a whole new ball game of games out there.
Well, we all evolve in our tastes for games. I mean, look at Goalie. He's went from being a gamer, a video gamer, to tabletop. And he is, by the way, if you haven't checked out his website, his show on YouTube, you should. Digital to Dice. That's what he did. He went digital to dice and is having great success with that, not only in his YouTube channel, but also just seems to be having so much more fun because he's found a real community that supports him and that he feels a part of. So
yeah, it's always nice to find that niche that you fit into well.
Right. You need to find that square hole that your square peg fits in.
Mm-hmm.
All right, everyone. We will talk to you next week. Thank you again for being here in the chat room, everybody who was. And if you were listening and just lurking, that's cool. Thank you for being there. If you're listening to us after fact, thank you for doing that as well. Have a great week. We will talk to you next week. Bye-bye, everyone.